2025 was an amazing year for swing trading. This year, I took 25 swing trades. Out of those 25 swing trades, 19 of them were winners. All of them bare minimum doing 50% profit, a majority of them doing 100%, and then also a good chunk of them running 200, 300 plus percent. Now, as far as my losses, I had 4 losing swings. 2 out of those 4 swings did not hit my max stop loss of negative 50%. And then the other 2 swing trades did hit my max stop loss of negative 50%. And then I also had 2 break-even swings. Now, not only did I take these swing trades, I signaled every single one. That way, everybody knew the exact trade that I was taking every single time. Now, as we can see right here, 2025 swing stats, 19 wins this year, 4 losses. Again, only 2 of them hitting my max stop of negative 50%, and then 2 break even. This is no hindsight, no after the fact. Everybody knew everything that I was doing. So in today's video, I want to break down my swing trading strategy. You are never going to learn this swing trading strategy from somebody else. This is my swing trading strategy, and I've spent years perfecting this system. So if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I have over 1,500 videos on this channel teaching you on how to trade for completely free, but I also live trade periodically throughout the week here on YouTube. So again, subscribe, like the video if you find education, but let's go ahead and let's hop into this. But looking at the screen, it might look a little confusing at first, but trust me, by the end of this video, it's all gonna make sense. So we're gonna start off by looking at a swing trade that I took on TFC. On this chart, what we have is the 21 EMA, which is this white line right here, the 34 EMA, which is this red line right here, the on balance volume, which is this little yellow line overlapped on my volume, the stochastic slow, and then the TTM squeeze. Now with my swing trading strategy, yes, there is more indicators. And the reason for that is because to swing trade, you have to understand where is price going to go over the next few days, weeks, months, or even quarters. Like there's a swing trade that I took on silver at the beginning of last year, and I'm still holding this motherfucker. Equity is up like 120, 130%, but this was based off the quarterly time frame, and this is where I enter. This is why I use so many indicators when swing trading, because again, it is harder to understand where's price going to go over the long term. So that's why we use more indicators. Anyway, so going back to TFC, I want to start off by explaining these 2 moving averages. Now, what these 2 moving averages come from is Fibonacci. If you don't know the Fibonacci sequence, look it up, but the 21 and 34 are part of that sequence. Now again, through my time swing trading and playing around with different moving averages from the Fibonacci sequence, I found that the 21 and 34 offer me the best potential setup. So now what am I looking for with the 21 and 34 EMA? Basically, all I am looking for is for price to build a base on top of these moving averages. So as we can see with TFC, we're holding it here, we're holding it here, we're holding it here, and then we're holding it here. That's all I'm looking for. If we go back over here, holding the 21 EMA constantly, go over here, constantly holding the 21 and 34 EMA. That's what I like to see. I want to see us build a base above that 21 and 34 EMA. Now, personally, I do not swing trade much to the downside just because stocks are naturally meant to go up, and my accuracy swing trading to the downside is way lower than it is swing trading to the upside. So that's why I prioritize swing trading to the upside. Obviously, that's where I make the most amount of money. That's where I'm the most accurate. So I might as well stick with it. So again, you want to look for price to build a base on top of this 21 and 34 EMA. But what's the most important to me is that price is in a squeeze. So with the TTM squeeze, we can see that we have this histogram bar and then these colored dots right here. What these dots are going to tell us is if price is in a squeeze or not. So what I am looking for is for price to have these red dots or even the orange dots, which will pop up periodically. I don't know if TFC has any. We have one way over here, but I'm looking for orange or red dots. When price has these red dots or orange dots, it is saying that price is in a squeeze. Now, what does a squeeze mean? A squeeze is when price is very condensed. Like imagine a Ziploc baggie filled with air. You take the baggie, you blow air into it, you zip it up, and you start twisting that bag, right? Eventually that air is going to get firm within that baggie. You're going to feel it harden up. If you keep twisting it, eventually that bag is going to pop and all of the air is going to rapidly come out. That's exactly what a squeeze is with price. Price is very condensed until eventually it becomes so condensed that it pops and price makes a very quick and aggressive move. Now, what happens when price is in a squeeze? The option premiums will die down because there's lower expectations for the stock going forward. So when that squeeze fires, not only are you going to catch the delta and the gamma, but you're also going to catch the vega because the implied volatility is going to jump with the move as well. Now, personally, I have scanners that pick up on this on multiple different time frames. As far as swing trading, I will look for this setup on a daily, 2-day, 3-day, weekly, monthly, and quarterly time frame. But the most important thing that scanner is scanning for is the squeeze. That's the very first thing, but then price also has to be above the 21 EMA as well as the 34 EMA. Now again, I like when price is holding these moving averages. I don't want to buy after the fact. I want it as close to them as possible. That way my stop can be on the opposite side. Now the next thing that I am looking for is going to be the on-balance volume and the stochastic slow. So looking at the on-balance volume, because again, we are entering these positions when price is sitting here and consolidating in a tight range. So how do we know now is the time for price to move, or if it's just going to sit there and continue to consolidate? Well, the on-balance volume is that exact indicator that's going to tell us now is the time to get in. So what we are looking at right here, it basically measures money inflow versus money outflow. When it's uptrending, there's more money inflow. So as we see, higher high, higher low, equal high, equal low, higher high, as price is sitting here consolidating. So it's telling us that there's more money inflow now than there was over here when price was higher, or even all the way over here when price was even higher. So looking at this chart of TFC on the weekly time frame, I entered this week right here. We're holding the weekly 21 and 34 EMA constantly. We're in this weekly squeeze. But then if we look down to the on-balance volume, well, look how much this weekly on-balance volume broke out. That is a substantial breakout telling me that there is a lot of money inflow and that price is likely going to go higher. So that's the first way that you're going to understand now is the time to get your entry. But the second way is by looking at the stochastic slow. So basically the stochastic slow, when the red line curls above the purple, that's a buy signal. When the red line curls below the purple, that's a sell signal. So equally at the same time with the on-balance volume breaking out, I am then looking for any recent stochastic buy signals. So at the end of this week right here, we got that stochastic buy signal. I just didn't happen to see TFC at that time. But if I did, that would have been the time that I entered. But I ended up seeing it over here. Again, we have very bullish weekly price action. On-balance volume is breaking out, holding the 21 and 34. We got this TTM squeeze here. And then we got the stochastic buy signal. That is a very high probability swing trade that I want to be in. So as a result, I entered this swing trade. I've taken some trims on the way up and now I'm just holding my runners. And ideally, I'm targeting this high over here at 49.06. And I still have these contracts until January. Another swing trade that I took recently on TSM. This was based on the 2-day time frame. So if we go to the 2-day, I entered at the end of this 2-day right here. And what do we notice? Price is holding the 21 and 34 EMA. We have a squeeze, which is very important. To me, the histogram bars don't really matter because they're always going to go back to light blue or yellow if price is holding above the moving averages. But all the histogram is really telling us is overall buying momentum. So dark blue is buying momentum is dying down. Red, very strong selling momentum. Yellow, buyers are coming back in. Light blue, very strong buying momentum. But again, the longer that we hold the 21 and 34, it's likely going to go back to yellow and then it's going to go back to light blue. So as far as the histogram color, I don't really pay attention to it. I mainly care about the dots telling me price is in a squeeze. But anyway, squeeze, holding the moving averages, stochastic buy signal over here. So again, your entry could have been here. But then also at the same time, if we look down at the on-balance volume, you can also do chart patterns. So we have like this little falling wedge type deal right here that we can see the on-balance volume broke out of. At the same time, we also had like this little wedge going on with TSM here and price started to break out. But notice the difference. This broke out before TSM actually broke out. So again, seeing all of that, I entered here. It was starting to set a new high. We had the buy signal squeeze, holding the moving averages, bullish price action. So I ended up taking a swing trade. As you can see, we've already made a very nice move to the upside. And overall, my target is all the way up here at 311.37. Going back to that silver example that I talked about earlier, this was based on the quarterly time frame. So if we go to the quarter and we head on over to SLV, looking at this amazing chart. Well, what do we notice on the quarterly time frame? Well, first off, we have a quarterly symmetrical triangle. Silver's been literally doing nothing. I entered before the breakout. Now, why did I enter before the breakout on silver? Well, first off, what do we notice? We are holding the 21 and 34 EMA as support. multiple times on the quarterly time frame. One of these candles represents 3 months. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. I was watching silver previously. I just had to wait a very long time for my actual entry, because what I was waiting for was the stochastic buy signal. So we're holding this quarterly 21 and 34. We have the squeeze, which is telling us a big move is coming. On balance volume is breaking out before price actually breaks out. Again, we kind of had like this little quarterly symmetrical triangle right here with the on balance volume. So it was breaking out. But then the cherry on top, we got the buy signal right here on the stochastic slow. So at the close of this quarter, that is when I entered long. I'm going to kick myself in the ass for this because I literally bought the January 2026 $25 calls, okay? And I sold them. On this initial pop-up, they exploded like 250%, something like that. And yeah, I sold them the next quarter. And now as we can see, SLV is trading at $53.82. So I fumbled that bag, but at least I still have the equity. But again, a beautiful setup. And then finally, one more swing trade that I'm going to show you guys was on Cisco. This, I believe, was based on the 3-day. And I believe my re-entry was somewhere right here. But the reason why I took this Cisco, I tried it originally over here, but ended up stopping out because there was China news and it got really close to my negative 50%. So I just cut it. But why I ended up re-entering is because it never really unconfirmed. I more so sold it just because we had that China news and the overall market was dumping. But that doesn't mean that you can't get back in. So I did end up re-entering this trade. But the whole thought process behind it originally, again, we're in a 3-day squeeze. We have a 3-day stochastic buy signal. We're holding the 3-day 21 and 34 EMA, but then look at the on-balance volume. The on-balance volume is breaking out and setting new higher highs, higher than when price was over here at 72.50 and price was trading down at $68 a share. Plus on top of that, if we zoom out to the weekly, you will see that we have a weekly setup as well. Stochastic buy signal, weekly squeeze, weekly on balance volume is breaking out. We can even break it down to a 2-day time frame. It will be the same exact thing. Holding structure. This is when I re-entered. So holding structure, we had the buy signals. This when I re-entered. So we were holding the moving averages, squeeze, on balance volume, all that stuff looked good. So again, this is the same exact swing trading setup that I take over and over and over. The only thing that changes is 1, the stock that I take it on, and 2, the time frame. Again, if you're taking notes, I watch the 1-day, 2-day, 3-day, weekly, monthly, and quarterly for these setups, but it is the same exact setup over and over and over. Now, one thing I do want you guys to make note of, you have to wait for these candles to close. The reason being, say for example, you see a setup on the quarterly time frame, like right now I'm watching something on Rio. Again, one of these candles is 3 months. If I enter this swing trade a month and a half in, there's still a whole nother month and a half that this thing could completely fall apart. So what you want to do is wait for that candle to close, because that is going to be your actual confirmation. So if we close something like this on the quarterly time frame for Rio, which is a silver miner, I believe, I'm going to be looking to swing trade leaps because this is a quarterly time frame, so we have to go really far out. But look at the setup. We're holding the quarterly 21 and 34. We're breaking this quarterly trend line right here. The quarterly on balance volume is breaking out as well. We have a quarterly squeeze as always, but then we have the quarterly stochastic buy signal on the breakout. So again, if we get this confirmation, I am taking this swing trade. So if you guys want something to watch Rio. But that is going to wrap up this video on my swing trading strategy. Again, 25 swing trades taken this year, 19 winners, all bare minimum 50%, almost all of them doing 100%, and also a good chunk of them running 200, 300+%. 4 losers, 2 small losses, and then 2 max stop losses, and then 2 break-even trades. So if you guys did find value in this video, make sure to smash that like button as well as clicking that subscribe button. Make sure to check out some of the 1,500+ free videos I have on this channel. Other than that, everybody have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.